Alright, Snake Plissken in this video. Yay. No, maybe not. Anyway, started around 3 something or 2 something. 2, I guess it is. You know, the beginning is just, yeah, joke. He's apparently has successfully slept with all the feminist women he's harassed. He doesn't think it's harassment, which is also funny. But anyway, let's move on to reality now. Let's get to a real issue for a change.
I mean, really, and she's just telling a story about, you know, look, I mean, men are sometimes really obnoxious. And so his advice is, well, you have to fix their obnoxiousness.
I suppose so, Gary.
Yeah.
So, if somebody were to say, man, I gotta spend all day out in the sun, I am gonna get so...
Okay, so we won't bother playing all that, right? You get the picture, right? So men being assholes is as uncorrectable as the sun being full of ultraviolet photons and shit. They don't get there that way, do they? But it doesn't really matter, right? The sun really doesn't. Well, it doesn't really matter. I mean, the atmosphere is really what's killing you. But anyway, you know, to the point. His argument is, yes, it's just intractable. Men have to be assholes. It's in the genetics or something, and there's just no way that they could ever do anything called being a little tiny bit grown up and sophisticated. No, they can only be moronic takers. You know, collectors. You know, notching their belt. This is the way men have to be. They can't be anything else ever. Oh, of course they can be. And I guess they would be if there was some sort of sense that's how you win. You know, if the men who got admired were something like that for a change. But anyway, the point is quite obviously he's saying it's women's fault. Women somehow are idiotic to expect men to be better than monkeys. You know, to have a little more sophistication than monkeys, a little more honesty than a monkey, something like that. Well, anyway, you get the point. So I'll wait until I get to another. I'll tie this shit together. There's no point in playing my part and his part. Although my parts are pretty quick, but it doesn't matter.
If a chick's not interested, she's not interested, and it's very low probability that you're going to make her interested.
Says you, but that girl tells her story, and she starts off not interested in buying their shitty album, and then by their action.
Well, anyway, see, that's not even the point of the video, I don't think, right? I mean, the point of the subject is that, you know, women are intimidated by the fact that men may go crazy on them. They can't just say to a man, you know, you're an asshole. Fuck off. Because sometimes that's going to get them in a lot of trouble with men, because men will feel entitled then to do damage or harm them in some way. So it's dangerous, this communication, and that obviously women are in a defensive position, because as soon as they trust a male, bad things can happen. But of course you just glibly step right over that, because you're not paying any attention to the subject. Of course. Anyway, moving on.
Well, I have no worry about that kind of thing happening to her. Now, Mama Wallace may have been a straight-up psycho, but she didn't raise herself a couple of fucking chumps.
Right, so, you know, because his sister's a badass of some kind, who apparently nobody could ever slip a Mickey to, or she could never feel some sort of trust emotion, you know, and get in a car with a man, or end up in a man's apartment, or in any way get in any kind of vulnerable position where she doesn't have an escape. She doesn't have her 9mm with her. Is that what you're? I mean, why don't you show us some pictures of your badass sister? Maybe you could draw us a picture, right? Just give us like an outline, like, you know. She ride a bike, you know. She have tattoos. Is there any other, like, is there some other indicator so we know what kind of, like, oh yeah, that's right, she doesn't fit into that category of a feminine girl, right? She's some other kind of girl. I mean, look, my sisters could probably beat the shit up. I mean, they could probably beat you up. I'm pretty sure they could. But they're still girls, okay? Yeah, fucker. Anyway. So, yeah, we'll move on. We don't need to play any more of this, do we? My sister's badass, so all the other women should be badass. It works for her until it doesn't. Yeah, until she's in the bottom of a fucking pond somewhere. Right? Yeah, it always works until it doesn't work anymore. Oh, yeah, that's how it works in reality, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Statistics and shit. So why don't you read some statistics and figure out that, you know, being tough isn't necessarily a great strategy for women. Yeah, look that one up.
Oh, in fact, she deals with it a little better than I do, truth be told. I mean, I'd feel a little bit bad about these broke-ass motherfuckers peddling their shit. Her, pull that trigger without hesitation. Get lost, asshole.
Yeah, okay, I'm just saying, as advice, I just think that's, like, really bad advice. So that'll be my comment. That'll be the extent of my commentary. This is really bad advice, and I think it's really weaselly of you to give it in this way where you're saying, look, men suck and men can be assholes, and you know, it's not because men help men to be assholes. You know, it's not like because there's assholes enabling men to be assholes by creating imagery and giving style points to exactly the kind of indifference and glibness, you know, that creates the problem. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, all right, moving on. Yeah, next. Keep it short, right? Keep it short so, you know, the men of little attention span can handle it. Yeesh. Oh, you couldn't see my eyes roll because of the glasses. Damn.
Peddle my dubious wares using high-pressure techniques, I gotta say, again, no problem.
So he just wiped over that one by just saying, basically, yeah, he doesn't lie to women, and he doesn't spike their drinks, and he doesn't, like, try to get them drunk so he can rape them. So he doesn't do any of that stuff, so no problem, right? So we're right back to the beginning, where the beginning is where you're supposed to acknowledge that there is a problem, that women should feel a little bit preyed upon and defensive and scared even, and that men who have no sensitivity to that aren't going to be able to function in this world with women because you're giving women no reason to trust you. Saying trust me doesn't really work when the guy who is going to hurt her is going to say trust me. You don't get that? You're not going to have any weapons in the future if you don't do something to fix it. Is I guess all I'm saying. You're allowing a tiny percentage of men to ruin the game for the rest of the men, so to speak.
Instead of trying to make men...
Oh, we're not doing that part. But this will be the good answer, right? Instead of trying to make men, well, let's do it.
Better human beings and better at relating to women, you're just making this silly argument that somehow this woman has an obligation to get tough.
Well, Care Bear, you flatter me with this idea you have that I have such power of unfathomable magnitude.
I don't know, is that what I said? That you have that? I'm saying that we all have influence, though. Certainly, especially communicating on the internet. Yeah, you can affect thousands of people. You can reinforce ideas in their head, especially a lot of the audience is young and stupid, especially your audience. Okay? And yeah, they go for that flary stuff and that confident stuff, and they say, ooh, I want to be like, it's like the Amazing Atheist. Why does he draw an audience? It's because he has absolutely nothing to feel good about himself about, and yet he just reeks this confidence, right? And so they're like saying, oh, any loser can be a confident winner, you know. So it makes them feel good. So it becomes an icon. It becomes something they you know, what do you call it, like a father figure or something? I don't know, some kind of bullshit like that. And so, yeah, you can play that game, and I think that's exactly the game you're playing, okay? I mean, you know these MRI guys are idiots, or MRA, or whatever the fuck it is. You know they're fucking idiots. But you're playing them, just like Fox News, you know? You're just telling them what they want to hear, just to get an audience, just to placate an audience. Right? So, I mean, there's certainly the role you're aiming at. And you know, so you want to pretend something else is the truth? Go ahead and pretend, but you're not fooling me, pal. Anyway, moving on. So, but that's his justification for sending shitty messages is nobody's listening. So I don't have to take any responsibility. Yeah, okay, I'm telling them a bunch of shit. I'm talking complete horse crap. I'm not making anybody a better person. And my excuse is nobody listens to me. And that's why you make videos. Again, this is just more glib. Glib everywhere. Nobody takes any responsibility for anything. Everybody just says the world sucks and it's not my fault. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I did shit on the sidewalk. Yeah, I did dump the litter. Yeah, I did do. Yeah, I did all that shit. But it's not my fault. No, it's your fault. Congratulations. You helped make the world a shittier place. Way to go. You made human beings dumber. Bravo the fucko. Yay. Alright, moving on.
And to try to intimidate the men out of intimidating her.
Well, that's one incorrect way to interpret what I said.
Yeah, incorrect way. I'm sorry, that's hilarious. You overtly just said it. You just said it now. You pointed out how your sister could just 9mm them, shoot them right in the head, headshots. And that you're just pretending that that's not what she was basically talking about, is the fact that, yeah, you can't just deal with it that way. You can't. You have to fucking play. These guys are going to follow me off a train. They're going to follow me to my goddamn house because they think they have a right to do this. And they have no clue that it could be slightly intimidating for a girl to have a guy, surrounded by them, playing her. And that somehow isn't at all intimidating. And the fact that those men are that clueless might be somewhat your fault, asshole. Yeah.
Do I look like Bruce fucking Lee, motherfucker? Do I look like I can kick a million guys' asses?
That's not the subject, right? The subject is, can you say something to other people that might be listening to you to encourage them to be a little more thoughtful in their interaction with women and recognize that there are certain dynamics between men and women that are just sort of the facts of life, and that we can make this work better or we can make this work worse. And that the better thing would be that we really have to discourage males from being liars and cheaters and gamers of women, and play a straighter game. And part of a straighter game is acknowledging the fact that you can't just get away with trust me.
Why? If I do, then you need glasses, bitch. But that shit...
No, I don't. I don't actually need glasses. Yeah, I got a pair. I have my Harley glasses, right? My Harley, I wanted to wear those, but I can't find them. I don't know where I put my Harley Davidson glasses. Vintage, 1968 Harley Davidson glasses.
Doesn't work on me. I don't need to intimidate those motherfuckers back, and neither does she. All she has to do is not fucking be intimidated.
Well, again, you just don't have to be intimidated by intimidating situations. Oh, gee, that makes sense. No, it doesn't make any sense at all. When you from no fault of your own stepped into a circumstance where, yeah, you're almost could be alone, and there's two guys that you're with that you didn't ask to be alone with.
Yeah, and we know how that works so well in society,
Yeah, some answer.
Yeah, I mean, just...
You suck.
I mean, this is, this just sucks.
This sucks.
That he's playing this game
Yeah.
with now what are just totally benign videos where somebody's just relating stories about how they feel like targets.
All right, get to it already.
And they feel afraid.
You're wasting the video time.
Just because, yes, men are capable of violence.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, now I get it. I read about this, and men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Women, such as her and yourself, they tell stories to relate. And here I come, like a man, trying to solve problems and shit.
Yeah, no. What you're just doing is denying the reality of it. Like Thunder, what do you think Thunderfoot's right that the only real women the only real rape is rape that women go to the police with? That if they don't go to the police, they weren't really raped? Do you believe that shit? I mean, you know, this is just such, well, whatever. I already said it. I mean, this just sucks. You're sitting here defending a circumstance that doesn't need to exist and only exists because a bunch of men, okay, have such tiny dicks that they can't sit there and grow up a little bit and recognize they can't have everything they want. Yeah, that you know, that the relationship with women has to be some sort of compromise.
When all she really wants is somebody to listen. God, I am an asshole. Okay, you got me.
That's not what the point is, right? She started the story. Well, listen, no, I'm not even going to go into where she started with the story, okay? But she started the story with here's a current events example of horrific violence committed by a deluded male who had absolutely no control over his perception of women. You know, not that he has control, but I'm just saying that there was no mechanism in his psychology that gave him any pause about thinking about women as if they were literally pigs or something.
And it scares them, and they kind of have a right.
Let's see what he says to
and
this.
This asshole saying, no, you're doing it wrong.
Am I saying she's doing it wrong? I mean, let me just run you through my reasoning. Did she want...
Yeah, your whole video was telling her how she was doing it. You told her you didn't look right in his eyes, even though you don't know whether she did that or not. You were critiquing her entire performance and saying she was doing it wrong.
To buy this shitty album, spend her hard-earned dollars.
It's not about the fucking money or buying an album. You don't even get that. It's about men and women and the relationship between men and women and the fact that men can clearly and easily be intimidating to a woman. So they have to behave in a certain manner, not to create that fear. Because that fear is real. Because women do get hurt by men. It's a fact. It's a fact men should take some responsibility for and try to make women feel better about, as if men are not going to encourage other men to have ignorant and stupid attitudes towards women. Something like that.
Assuming they were hard-earned, on this basement-produced piece of bullshit. Well, I mean, if you watch the video, she says, no, I don't want to. Now, did she eventually end up buying aforementioned shitty-ass bullshit? Well, yes, she did. Now, are there other people in...
Right, and for any legitimate reason, no. So what was she doing? She was extorted by fear and intimidation. And that's not a good thing. And men should say to say to other men, don't do that, because you're fucking the game for us. Shit. Whatever. You're really dumb. Well, I'll just finish this off, right?
In that situation, who would not buy twice aforementioned bullshit? Well, yes, there are. Do they use a different approach? Well, yes, they do. So, yeah, I can say, she could probably do a bit better. I'm not going to say wrong. So much is not exactly right.
You're playing the crazy male wrong. Fuck. Instead of just admitting that maybe men ought to clean up their own house.
Men need to clean up their own house. Well, hell, problem solved. I guess she's never going to get played for a chump again. Damn, I feel foolish for wasting all that effort with all those words when I could have just admitted that shit and fixed the problem.
Yeah, you could. That's right, you could. You could be part of the solution or you could be part of the problem. Right now, you're part of the problem. You're just a glib motherfucking asshole rubbing the heinies of a bunch of women haters, the women hater club. Right, just looking for an excuse, okay? And that's all they're doing, looking for an excuse to justify their will to own. You know, will to power, yeah, will to own.
Damn. Oh, Gary, you make me look like a fool.
No, you do that on your own just fine. I'd like to take some credit, but I really can't.
Yeah, that's enough. I don't need to say any more on this. This is just... These assholes. It's just, yeah, what's the point? It's just, you know, people are just so disappointing.
Yeah, that's the word, disappointing. It is depressing, right? Because, like I said, Snake Plisskenus isn't stupid. He's witty, he's clever, he knows some shit. and yet he talks down, he dumbs down, you know, to play with the boys in the mud and talk about how cool they are.
Fuck this shit. Fuck you, Snake. You're an idiot. A little petty boy. Grow up.
You're so correct, Gary, mon chéri. Why can't I just learn that you can tell people...
Yeah, why can't you learn that life is serious business? All kinds of serious shit is happening to all kinds of people every fucking day. And you can either elevate the standard, you know, have a better shit game, or you can have a shittier shit game. I mean, it's not, you know, okay, so he's like, yo, okay, these aren't great choices, shit or shit. But it really does matter, okay? Shittier shit is shittier. So, yeah, why not just elevate it? Come on, pick up your game a little.
To be better, and they'll just do it. Here I come up with my crazy cockamamie schemes when all I really gotta do is say, hey guys, why don't you just change your entire behavioral paradigm?
Yeah, be a gamer. You know, yeah. You really don't think that would work, though. You really don't think that it would work if you spoke to males honestly and said something sensitive. You know, I mean, really sensitive. You know, saying, look, I understand your needs. You need, okay, but you can't take. There's a difference between, you know, just the game, playing a fair game. You have to negotiate. Fair game. Okay? You can't just take.
You know, they'll do it, because, I mean, if only I'd realized that, if not for my callow youth.
Yeah, whatever. So nobody influenced you ever. Nobody said anything that ever influenced you, right? Besides celebrities or something. Somebody millions of people were listening to. So if the president doesn't say something, you don't learn anything from them. There wasn't some guy just walking down the street who said something that influenced you. Is that your theory?
Well, you have yourself a nice day, Gary.
Well, you have yourself a cruddy one, because that's what you deserve. Yes, get exactly what you deserve. The shitty, crappy, scummy, you know, outcomes. I mean, you're promoting shitty outcomes, and so you should have a shitty outcome. Yeah, that just seems the way it should work. If somebody has to have the shitty outcomes that you're making, a must be, then somehow the shit should fall on you. It just makes sense. I mean, clearly, if we have a more perfect world where shitty outcomes are no longer the outcome, then I guess it doesn't matter. But, you know, we don't have that world. So until we have that world, yeah, I wish you a shitty outcome because you're a shitty outcome producer. For the most part. You're encouraging it anyway. You're probabilistically not doing something that's going to make people better people. Yeah. Or your audience anyway. Let's not give your audience too much credit. They're not really people. Anyway, enough of a video. So anyway, he was missing the whole point. Is what is the point of the video, right? And it's really idiotic to think about men being assholes as being the sun. Yeah, they don't have to be the way they are. Men can be better, and other men can help make them better. There, that's my simple point. Yeah. Pretty much.